Here I am, in the place to be. Mr. K&B, you can't fuck with me. Extra sexy, extraordinary. Palms are hairy, your mama pop.
Hey everyone, I'm K&B, the sexy ninja. Is that how we're going to do it?
Yeah, I like it. Hey guys, I'm Doug.
Yeah, I'm Doug.
Oh wait, no.
No?
I'm Doug.
No. Well, then I'm Luke Skywalker.
Well, welcome everybody. Doug is back. Everyone's been asking about you.
I'm sorry.
No, they like our reviews. They like our things on movies. I can only talk so much by myself, you know.
Yeah, but nothing good has come out recently. That's kind of why we haven't really done much.
Well, now we got this, and we're talking about the first 4 episodes of The Bad Batch.
Season 2.
Season 2, The Bad Batch is back. I was looking forward to this. As you know, I've grown really attached to these characters.
Mm-hmm. I think it's my favorite Star Wars property right now. I know you like The Mandalorian a bit better, I believe.
Of course.
But I think this is a little more enjoyable for me, just because, one, I mean, the Book of Boba Fett came from The Mandalorian, so that just instantly dropped some of its quality a little bit. But, 2, this has just been more original, despite being about clones, oddly enough. Is like the Mandalorian stuff has been cool. It's been a little in-between stories on stuff we don't know, pertaining to characters we do know, but these are characters we don't know.
Yeah, and I care about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's like with Obi-Wan, with the Kenobi show, you know, it was kind of like, okay, well, I care about Obi-Wan. I'm not really digging this little Leia thing, you know, but I understand why.
But it wasn't even that. It's that you know where that story's going.
Yeah.
Like, we don't, if this season ends with the Bad Batch dying, like...
I'm going to cry.
I'm going to cry too, but, like, at least that doesn't affect the other stories. There's been no, like... We don't know in, you know, Rise of Skywalker that the Bad Batch was on the Battle of, you know, Exegol. Like,
yeah.
It's not something like that where, like, oh, they're gonna be fine. No, this is a legitimate story that has, like, no known ending, at least to us.
Yeah, so the way we did it last time, everybody, was you can go check out those episodes on Popflix. But I was just going to put out here on the Ninjacast just because it'd be easier just to maintain. We broke it down in 3 episodes, but because of schedule, because of sickness and weather, we're going to do it in 4.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the first 4 episodes. Episode 1, Spoils of War. Episode 2, Ruins of War. Episode 3, The Solitary Clone. And 4 is Faster.
Mm-hmm. When the difference is that in the original series too, and like we took this off of the Clone Wars saga stuff because they used to do 3 episode stories. That's how it was. It'd be 3 episode story, next story, 3 episode story, next story. Bad Batch kind of did that, not all the time, but Bad Batch kind of did that. But this season, it definitely doesn't seem like they're following that same.
No, it's more like focusing on it's one of the Bad Batch. You know, it's like episodes. But let's start off. Spoils of War. The Bad Batch are back. They got a job they need to do. They got to go rob Dooku's chest.
War chest.
War chest. Yeah, touch his chest.
Watch his...
yeah. But they have to go get some stuff from this war chest. It's supposed to make them a lot of money. I would say probably one of my favorite like endings because I was like... But yeah, the episode was already up because they already put both of them up at the same time. And I was just like, what a way to end an episode where I'm like, and they're falling in that chest, like, oh my God. And I was like, and then it ends and I'm like, what? Next episode, I'm like, that's damn good television.
I will say the reasoning for them doing all this seemed a little forced a little bit, but at the same time, it was still a fun adventure. The first episode, they're robbing this war chest, but you're just like, whoa, what's this war chest? You're like, oh my gosh, it's like half a planet.
And they don't get any of it.
They don't get any of it.
So I think that's where I kind of was just like, okay, well, this was just us watching them in action. And, you know, I do like the starting. It seemed very cliche in the sense of like, okay, here's the Bad Batch, but they're in their little bad rut right now because they got these little crab things.
Crabs. Pirates of the Caribbean almost, as they're just running down the beach away from this.
Yeah. And, you know, Hunter, you know, he wants a life for Omega. And he wants, you know, and like Echo wants to fight.
Echo wants to fight, but Echo also understands the responsibility of having Omega with them. Like that's where a bit of the conflict in these first 2 episodes come from. Is Omega overhears Echo talking about, you know, the reason that they're in the situation they're in is because they went and saved Omega, and so like she feels like there's a responsibility to try to help them make money, and it kind of drives her character off of a metaphorical and physical cliff.
Yeah,
but
because she's really adamant. She's like, I want to prove myself to y'all that I can help, and I want to go get some of this loot. You know, that's her mindset and everything like that.
Even though like someone teaches her like a kid shouldn't be worried about getting treasure, a kid should be worried about having fun, and he gives her like a little toy. She's like, oh, does it have gems? She's like, no, it's just a toy.
Yeah, like you need to understand, you need to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, that dude was really cool. Like I really like that dude, and like I'm really enjoying too. I've noticed like, you know, we on the first season we're focusing on Hunter and him growing as a father figure. Well, most of them growing as father figures. Or
Wrecker growing as a brother.
Yeah, Wrecker is a brother and everything like that.
Not a father figure.
Not a father figure, but he's a brother in that sense, a little brother. You know,
he's the little brother. Yeah.
And I remember like when remember the episode where he made the little thing they made the like her area for her because they're like, here, this is your area,
your own little area.
Yeah. So the story wise, I was like, okay, they're going after this, but I just felt like, we're just telling you, like, look how badass the Bad Batch can be, and they can get out of anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I felt the first 2 episodes were all about, was just reintroducing this, introducing them again, and introducing a little bit more conflict within the team with Omega. But it was kind of resolved in the end because Echo was like, hey, you know, my bad.
No, Echo was like, look, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm sorry what I said, but I don't regret at all saving you. Like, he meant what he said, that everything changed because they got Omega. But he doesn't regret it. It's not like he's like, I wish we hadn't got her. No, he's just like, look, when you picked up Omega, it changed everything. And then he's just like, but that's a good thing. We're not just, random soldiers anymore. We have a cause. And he does want to help others. And that's just the entire group has that mentality of helping others is kind of the priority. The only person that doesn't seem to have that per se is kind of Hunter, because Hunter's priority is Omega. So he's like, I would rather let people die and save Omega than help others, where everyone's like, no, we'd rather die to save others.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna that bond between all of them is gonna be tested.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first season we're like, oh, Omega's gonna get really annoying really quick, and she's gonna be that character that But I
just don't like her the voice actress. Like, not like in any personal way, but the voice actress for her character. I just listen to it sometimes, and I'm just like, did we have to go with that like really heavy Australian accent for her? Because she's still young enough that she could have like a more subtle accent.
I think it's more toned down this season, in my opinion. I don't know if it's changed for you, because I know you're big on voice acting and stuff like that. So, but yeah, with these first 2 episodes, I really like the fact that a little focus on Tech. That's why I really like the 4th episode, just because I like Tech. Tech has that personality.
Well, Tech hasn't really had a time to shine so far. He assists the team in the first episode actually talks about Tech a little bit, where Hunter and Wrecker are together doing this thing, and Hunter has to try to bypass this computer. He's like, normally Tech does this. Yeah. Like, showing that he has vulnerabilities and he relies on his team.
Yeah, they all do. They all bring something to the table. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think in the 3rd episode kind of just broke my heart.
Yeah.
With Crosshair. Mm-hmm. Because it was all focused on Crosshair. And then we got Cody. I was
like... He was working with him, and Cody was a good clone. Cody followed orders. A good soldier follows orders. And he just kind of got broken of that throughout the episode, just by how obsessed Crosshair was with the things that Crosshair did. Because Cody promises someone pretty much like, hey, we don't have to fight anymore, we'll just sit down and talk. And the moment they lowered their gun and the guy gets away, the governor, who was just this little peon the entire time, is like, kill her, and you're just like, dude, you were pissing your pants like 2 minutes ago.
I know. I was like, shut up. Because he was like, oh, you're breaking orders and blah, blah, blah. And I think that moment for Cody was important.
It showed him what side was good and what side was bad, I think.
Yeah, because good soldiers follow orders, and seeing Crosshair also questioning it as well, especially when Cody's gone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I think that's the catalyst. I think that's going to be, if Crosshair has a story of trying to rebel, I think Cody was the catalyst for it, because even his team itself, he was just like, I didn't have the control chip in me for this time. I'm not being controlled to do this. I'm doing this of my own free will. And that kind of broke the team. But then after, when Cody was finally like legitimately, like, you don't see it, but he's like, I can't do this anymore, I'm leaving. And Crosshair's like, well, where did Cody go? Where'd Commander Cody go? And the guy's just like, who? He's like, the commander, yada, yada, yada. He's like, oh, he went AWOL. And that kind of brought into light Crosshair's, am I doing the right thing now?
Well, I think, too, also, is they were all called by their number. Mm-hmm. They weren't called by their individual names. They were just in...
Well, and that was the difference between the Jedi, too, is because, Obi-Wan called him Commander Cody.
Yeah.
And then you have this new Vice Admiral who's just... I mean, he's a good bad guy for this season. I'm going to be surprised if he makes it through the season.
Well, what he did in the first 2 episodes...
When he
killed the clone, like, he's like, don't file that report.
No. He said, I'm not going to accept that report. File a new report that excludes them. And the guy's like, I can't file a false report. He's like, I understand. I was like, damn.
I was sitting there, and at the end of that second episode, I was like, fuck. Like, he's in deep now. And... Well,
because in the first season, he was kind of a little more on the, like, fence about it. Because he's the one that worked with Crosshair, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, they were the one that went to that planet together, and they were looking for rebels, and it was just an encampment of kind of lost people, and they just, like, slaughtered them. And he gets promoted through that. And I think he works directly under Tarkin. But, like, the attack on Kamino was his doing at the end, but it still kind of seemed like he might have had a little bit of humanity left in him. Then we just go into the season where he's just like, I'm in charge now, bitch.
Yep. I can't have my record... be questioned because I let these clones go. These clones are still alive out there.
The reason I got promoted is because I wiped out Kamino with the 9-9 unit on it. So, yeah, we're not going to put that on there.
Yeah, so I like I said, that 3rd episode, though, I would say is the most solid. Just because I like Crosshair. I remember we were thinking the whole time last season, like, everyone's going to die. Someone's gonna die.
So, Crosshair was the one that we were just like, yep, he's the one that's gonna go. If anyone,
he's gonna find that moment of like self-sacrifice. But no, like I remember when we talked about it when he was just like, I haven't had that chip in a while, man.
Yeah, and you're like, oh,
oh fuck,
oh no. And then like evidently he was on Kamino on that platform for like a month.
Yeah,
it's like 30 cycles. You're just like, jeez, dude.
It's still not questioning it. He still gets a free meal.
Yeah.
But also, too, seeing that we're kind of phasing out the clones. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to see when they start recruiting and basically kidnapping people to join the Empire.
Maybe we'll meet a very young FN-217.
Maybe. Or this last episode I told you when I texted you, the controversy. Mm-hmm. With Faster. This episode Faster.
People will get mad that not every episode has an exceedingly huge meaning. It's kind of silly. Like... I don't know. You messaged me that before I watched the episode, and I was expecting something very actually controversial. And then I watched it and went, oh, okay.
I knew that would be your reaction because I immediately, like, I follow this thing at Rebel Force Radio. They have a page and stuff like that. It's a group page on Facebook that I follow, and we all post Star Wars things or Star Wars series, and everyone reacts to it, and that sense of community just so I can get my Star Wars fix because I'm a junkie in that sense. But man, just seeing this one comment like, fuck Star Wars, fuck the Bad Batch, fuck Disney, blah, 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 blah. And then like the host of the podcast, Jimmy Mack, replying, bro, it's just a cartoon. Like,
see, and now I don't necessarily view this as controversial, but on Disney it probably would have been. I thought that maybe like Omega was going to have a flirtatious thing with another girl. Or something like that. Like, that was when you were telling me that I was thinking, and I was like, okay. Like, and then I watched the entire episode, and I'm like, no, there was nothing whatsoever that was, like, any form of controversial in this. This seemed like a normal Saturday morning weekly cartoon.
That's what I felt like. I woke up, and I had my bowl of cereal, and I sat there, and I had fun. I laughed when I needed to laugh. Mm-hmm. Especially when, what's his name, Dow or whatever that funny droid with the sonic voice is. Like when he got hit the second time.
He pretty much got killed, yeah.
Yeah, I laughed so hard after Tech brought him back to life. Taylor. I just love when he got back together and, well, blah, 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 I'm so cocky and But I also like when Tech took the reins. Mm-hmm. And the only thing about this episode that I was like, missed opportunity, pod racing.
Yeah, when I heard it was speeder racing, I was like, wait, what? I thought, like, pod racing is known throughout the galaxy. Friggin' Qui-Gon talks about it happening on, I think, Camino.
Yeah.
Or not Camino. Coruscant. So, like, if it's in the Outer Rim and Tatooine and on Coruscant, obviously it's widespread enough. But I think that... the only reason I think they probably didn't do pod racing is because humanoids have a harder time in pod racing than other creatures because of the reactions and stuff like that. So maybe that's why they did speeder racing, because it's technically slower.
You know how excited I was sitting, and they're like, they went through this race. I was like, really? Really? Pod racing?
Yeah.
Pod racing? And then it came out, I was like, oh, not pod racing. Like,
Vader's in there in a little ship. This is how I get my kicks.
And the idea of it being like there's no rules, you can shoot at each other and this and that. And...
well, you shoot, you have shields, you have a pit for some reason.
Yeah.
Which, like, with how fast they're going, there's no way you can do a pit stop, so...
I like how Tech figured out, like, I just gotta get rid of, like, all this unnecessary stuff that's on this thing that's slowing me down. Mm-hmm. But I love when they introduce, like, and racing, blah, blah, Tech.
Just silent.
Tech. Like,
is that all his name? Tech? Okay.
And the awesome moment for me is when he wins, and then, like, everyone's like, Tech, and in that moment, was like, they're rooting for me. Oh.
I will say that, like, Tech has definitely gotten the most out of these first 3 episodes so far. Like, Crosshair and Tech have been kind of the focal points of the 3rd and 4th episode specifically, and then the first episode had a lot more about the entire team. A bit more about Omega, I guess, than anyone else, but mostly about the entire team. And Tech had his badass moment of taking down a bunch of troopers with one leg, you know. But yeah, I mean, it was ultimately, like, Hunter has been pretty excluded from a lot of the stuff going on so far.
Well, him and Echo went off to, like, get nuggies?
Gets nuggets or something. Like, I want to assume that they're, like, just transporting, like, some raw material that is a nugget. Like a gold nugget, but, like, the equivalent.
I was thinking,
but
like,
I was hoping it was chicken nuggets, to be honest.
That's what I was hoping, too. I was just like, Chucky milk and chicken nuggies.
Yeah.
You know, Grogu's gonna be happy.
Yeah. But no, and, like, Hunter in the first episode, even, he got split from the team, and it was him and Wrecker. And then the 4th episode, it was him and Echo. So, like, are we gonna get a solo adventure again with him and Omega?
I think this is what my feel was with these 4 episodes. Was like, yeah, let's spread the love a little bit. We really focused on Hunter and Omega's relationship in the first season, you know, and a little bit of Crosshair and all this and that. I think they want to just kind of like, here you go.
Maybe they're having a hard time getting Hunter's voice actor in. It's not like they're not all almost the same voice actor.
But I'm excited. We're okay now because we'll review the next 4 in a few weeks.
In a month.
But where do you feel it's going? Do you think someone's gonna die?
No, probably not. If they didn't do it in the first season, I don't think they're going to do it in this season. The team is too tightly woven. The only person that may die would be Sid. Whatever her name is.
Yeah, it's Sid.
Yeah.
And she's going to betray. There's going to be a moment of... I think that's going to fuck up Omega.
Maybe. Or, what's her name? I don't even know if we got her name. The chick voiced by Wanda Sykes in the 2nd episode.
Oh, yeah.
Or the first episode.
The one that was in the starting where they're like, oh, hey, you know.
I've got a job for you. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah. She may be someone that tries to get Sid to betray them. And it may be a choice that Sid has to make between that woman and the Bad Batch. And she may decide not to decide, so it puts the 2 of them against each other.
And I think that'll probably be, like, towards the middle of the season. You know, like... create that conflict, and then they'll probably pay off in the end.
I think if anyone's going to die, it's going to be the Vice Admiral. And it's going to be because people find out that the experimental clone trooper unit is still alive.
And plus, too, we didn't expect a 2nd season.
No.
We were like, oh, that was fun. You know, now they can go off and do whatever they want. Then they said the 2nd season's coming. I was like, oh.
I'm kind of hoping they don't have too many seasons, though.
I think it's 3 seasons. I think if they want to expand this story to 3 seasons, I think that'd be okay. It's not like Andor where they're like, you got season 1 and you got season 2. And I was like, well, I don't think we need 2 seasons for that, but okay, sure. More Star Wars.
Well, and it's so I wouldn't mind so much if they did maybe the first and second season and the third season took place, like, if they live, the third season takes place in, like, the Rebel time.
Oh, that would
Star
be
Wars
cool.
Rebels, with them being older.
A little bit of time jump there.
You get an adult Omega, actually.
Maybe that's what we do. You got little Omega, teen Omega, adult Omega.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's where we go.
Because it would be, I mean, she would be, what, it'd be like, she'd be in her 30s? Because she doesn't age quickly. She ages at the same, like, she's actually older than they are.
I forgot how much I like her bow.
Yeah.
And I realized something today. I was thinking, because I knew you were coming over, we can finally talk about these episodes. I don't have an Omega Pop.
Oh.
I have the Bad Batch ones.
But that's an entire, like, single,
yeah.
like, 4 pops in one.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't have an Omega, so that's my goal, is to get an Omega Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and it's funny, too, is like you said, original characters, new ideas. We don't know the fate of these, of the Bad Batch, and that's what makes the story fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's why at the end of the first episode, when they were, like, falling and stuff, I was like, you know, what's going to happen?
Yeah, but so my only problem with them trying to kill any one of them is that I think for the purpose of it, they'd all go out together.
Oh,
like,
dude, that, like...
I don't think it's going to be a question of who dies. It's either the team dies or none of the team dies.
No, I just thought about it. It just broke my heart. Like, it's like they're pitted against the wall, all of them, and there's, like, an escape, but it only can fit one, and they decide, Omega, go. Mm-hmm. You know, we'll hold down as best we can, and there's like, goodbye, all right, guys, this is it.
Time to do what we're made for.
You know how depressing that would be? Just be like, oh, fuck. And then, like, knowing Omega's out there, lost her family, pretty much.
Knowing how it is, could you imagine Ahsoka comes out as a TV show, and there's a live actor, or a live voice actor, not live voice actress, there's a live actress for Omega in that, because that's who got Omega, was Ahsoka, when she got launched off. She got found by Ahsoka.
All right.
So we get a teenage, young adult, you know, Omega who's fighting alongside Ahsoka and then has to go find her own way.
Well, you know, it's funny too, because I was thinking about, like, I can't wait to expand upon these stories, especially with the Ahsoka series coming and stuff like that. Seeing Thrawn finally being introduced, I know that's who she was going after, and when we met up with Ahsoka, and they're going to bring live action versions of the Rebels characters, you know, into the show itself, and it's kind of like, oh, and I never even thought of a live action Omega. It could happen.
Yeah.
So, man, I wish we got a movie with the Bad Batch, like an in-between fun story, just to hold us over for season 2. Or maybe they might do that for season, like, maybe season 3 is not even a show. It's a whole full-blown thing. But that's also, too, if Disney wants to bank on the Bad Batch. Because I feel so far, as much as I love Star Wars, I feel like the Bad Batch and Mando are two of the best stuff so far in the Disney era.
See, and outside of Omega, I don't know if I'd want a live-action full team of the Bad Batch. Because it's all the same actor, technically. So everyone's face would be, like, digitally imposed on them.
No, I meant, like, if the Bad Batch dies in the show, let him die there, then we can have a live-action Omega pop up somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
That I'll go for.
Yeah.
And, you know, and plus, too, I feel like there's missed opportunities in Obi-Wan series. Remember the bum trooper he meets? I was like, come on, be Cody. You know, come on, be somebody.
It could be Cody. We actually don't know if it's Cody, because Cody's AWOL right now.
Yeah.
So, that could have been Cody.
Yeah. So, but overall, out of these 4 episodes, so far, what would you give the rating for?
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10?
Yeah.
I'm a solid 8.
Nothing blew my mind in all of it, but it was still a fun ride.
And I think that's what I miss, is like, you know, because the thing with, like, Obi-Wan and everything like that, there's always this, like, sense of, like, mystery. You know, it's always like, oh, there's, no, that's not it. Oh, no, that's not it. That's not it. Because you didn't watch Andor. That's all that was like a spy thriller. Like, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? And then finally, in the end, like, this is why. I'm like, oh, you couldn't have told me that in the start.
Well, I'm just thinking on Obi-Wan. I'm like, there's nothing in this that really, like, nothing in that entire show that I was not like, oh, wow, that kind of was crazy. Except for, like, the very, very end with Qui-Gon. Like, where I was like, oh, finally!
Something!
Yeah, but, like, the rest of it, I'm just like, this was just a little mini adventure that I don't know needed to happen. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Ewan McGregor, and I love him as Obi-Wan, but I don't know if there's more story that needs to be told.
Yeah, and originally that was supposed to be a movie. Like, that was when they, remember?
That was before Solo came out and ruined everything.
Oh, Solo.
Tell me I'm wrong!
No, you're not wrong. I remember. I was there. I remember being like, I like Solo. It was fun. We walked out of that movie like, all right, cool.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem, though, is it's supposed to be this big thing. But then it was like, at that same time, we'd been told there's going to be a Boba Fett movie, there's going to be an Obi-Wan movie, and then Disney went, I guess we'll turn those into TV shows.
Yeah, because, and also, too, it's like, what is next with movies? Like, where do we go with the movies now? Like, we haven't, as much as I like having Disney Plus and having Star Wars series, I'm like, what's the next movie? Mm-hmm. Like, where do we go next? Like, what? Like, I know Disney is on purposely not going past the sequel trilogy to further those adventures. Mm-hmm. Which I would like to see where Rey's going to end up.
Maybe they're going to wait until Daisy Ridley's like in her 40s, and then do another one with her as the mentor.
Well, did I tell you this story that I wrote?
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah. So I expanded upon it a little bit more, and I would like to do a full episode on it, like get your thoughts, and maybe you can be like, that's shit, but do this,
I mean, I don't know if I want to be that mean to you, but I'm going to be.
Yeah, but that's the best part. All right, y'all, tell us what you thought of the first 4 episodes of The Bad Batch. They're up right now. Episode 5 is dropping here soon. I'm excited just because, like I said, it's for me, I'm like a kid. I get my bowl of Cheerios, and I go and watch Star Wars. Mm-hmm. So, it wasn't like that for Andor. Andor was like a chore. Andor was like...
Why do you think I didn't bother watching?
Like, even though I enjoyed Andor, I enjoyed what the show did. I enjoyed the character. Like,
I love that you say that, but you messaged me going, dude, you would hate this.
Because you would. It's too much of a slow burn where I felt like there's things that they can pick apart. And this show just goes in weird directions. Like, weird directions. Like, Andy Serkis's character is probably, like, the high point of that show. But then he's gone. Huh?
Snoke's in there? Andy Serkis plays Snoke.
I know. I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Oh, so I'm guessing he's not.
He's not Snoke. Unless...
Yeah. I'm just a younger cloned version of the Emperor.
He liked my looks.
Yeah.
And the Emperor's like, hey, that guy.
Splice my genes with that dude.
Ooh, baby.
Sneeze not going to do anything, so just take his genes, add them to mine.
Ooh. All right. Now, like and subscribe. Share with your grandma. Share with your grandpa. Share with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninja.
And I'm Doug.
That's it. That's all. That's a wrap.
Welcome to the Wicked Shit